All right, trucks at Nashville. So let's take a look at the settings. I'm running 14 to 1. You can run whatever you want. I tried a little bit 16 to 1. It felt fine, but I think Nashville's like the size of track where me personally, my comfort's somewhere in between 14 to 1 and 16 to 1. So I'll just go with 14 to 1 because it's a little bit quicker, just in terms of steering the wheel. But whatever you choose for it, it's fine. It's a comfort pick. Steering offset, I have it 0 just so that my wheel is straight on the straightaways. It's not always like that at 0, but in this truck it's like that at 0. Then front brake bias I have all the way down at 45%. I think you can go even lower, but I didn't want to be sliding any of my rear tires as I was turning down the hill. Okay. So this should be, it can be either first or second lap hot lap, I think. I think second might be a little bit faster, but you might want to take the 2 attempts at it. But you do get quite a bigger run setting it for the corner. So I'm going to try to go for it lap 1. And then if my 1 and 2 isn't feeling very good, then I'm going to set up wide to do the lap 2 run up. So the run up is just going to be turn the car down, point the nose early, and then full throttle off the corner here. So the thing about this combo, for whatever reason, there's less slipping, less snapping loose. But we still want to get the car pointed, get the car all the way down to yellow. Missed the yellow a little bit, so now I had to wait on the throttle. So that was a little bit slow, so I'm going to set up for my second lap here. So wide. And then you really just want to get on the gas as early as possible here. And we're going to set up here. A little bit wider this time, but I still want to get to the bottom early. Really right at the bottom yellow there, perfect. So you can see I'm a little bit more aggressive on the throttle, and I was still able to be a little pretty comfortable through the corner. Same thing here. Getting in early. Then just being really aggressive on the throttle off. And down on the apron. Perfect. Pretty good lap there. Let's go take a look at it real quick. All right. So, like I said with the run up, you don't really have to stay at the outside. You just want to start at the outside. And then have your nose kind of pointed down the hill so that you can make a huge straight line out of the exit here. This drives a little bit closer to the older truck, honestly. The differences are less noticeable at this combo for whatever reason. Maybe it's just because the speeds are slightly less. You can still feel that the car has a little bit lower grip in the corner, but it's not that different compared to what it was. And the top speed is only barely faster. So it almost is going to be like the old truck, in my opinion. Just a little tiny bit less corner grip. So getting into the corner here, I go smooth out of the throttle so that my car doesn't argue with me about where it wants to go into the corner. And then halfway down the hill, I go for my smooth out of throttle into a trail brake. Trail brake is only going to be about 10%. Then I ride the 10% down to the yellow line. Once I can get that car stuck to the yellow line, instantly back on about 60% throttle. See the timing there. Trail brake, trail brake, trail brake. Stick the car to the yellow line, then 60% throttle. And then if that car truly is stuck to the yellow line, I can just be full throttle. It'll slide up a little bit because of the lack of grip that this new aero package has, but it should be able to be fine, and it does not snap. So for whatever reason, we don't get the snap in this combo. Same idea here, except I'm going to get down a little bit earlier. The reason for that is the shape of the track. It opens up a lot quicker in 3 and 4 than in 1 and 2, so I'm going to try to get to the bottom and then make a straight line out of the exit. Alternatively, you can also approach this wide and then get on the gas even earlier. But if you're going to be doing the late apex wide approach, you got to be like as early on the gas as possible, and it's probably earlier than you would even think is possible. But same idea here for turn 3, just a little bit earlier turn in, smooth out of the throttle. Halfway down the track, we trail brake until the car sticks to the yellow. Then the moment it sticks to the yellow, I'm able to go more aggressive on throttle in 3 and 4 because it opens up wider than 1 and 2. So instead of going to 60% and holding that until I can unload the wheel, I now go to 90% and just force full throttle and just turn the car, and you would maybe expect it to snap here. If you're snapping here, you just have to hold a little bit less steering wheel. You can definitely get through this corner with a right amount of steering wheel and have it not snap. I don't recommend this for long run. This is pretty bad tire wear right here, but this is how you do it for hot lap. All right, let's go talk about long run for a little bit here. So with the long run at Nashville, in this truck, this is where the little bit of differences will start from the old truck. The old truck, I was pretty early with getting to the bottom, but I think that's a little bit slow with how long you have to hold the brake. And I think the tires are going to wear, in my opinion, a little bit more on the right front because the right rear doesn't quite want to kick out. So my line for this is going to be just late apexing slightly. I was a little bit early on the throttle. You got to be a little bit patient on the throttle. A little bit of a slide there, but nothing like it was what I'm used to with this truck at this point. But the key to the tire saving is you just want to get back to throttle at the same time that you would think for hot lap, but you just get back on a little bit less aggressive. So if I'm getting back on the throttle on hot lap at 70%, then I get back here on 50% for a little bit until I can straighten the car out. That one I kind of over slowed the car in the corner, which actually helped me out. So extending your brake duration might help too. But if you find yourself kind of adding more steering wheel as you go through the corner, then that's probably something's up with that. So for trim 1 and 2, a little bit lazier entry until you get into the bottom. Missed the bottom. You really want to get to the bottom of Nashville. It's just free lap time because of how the grooves work out. That's the number one issue that people have, is that they'll overdrive corner entry and then either miss the bottom completely or have to do a bunch of stuff that burns tires to now get to the bottom. So like for instance here, it's easy to want to overdrive it, but I'm just gonna get to the bottom. And now that I'm at the bottom, it's a lot easier to get through the corner. I think I picked up the throttle a little bit too early there. That was a good example of something that could burn my tires if I do that consistently. You don't want to be sliding up the track and having to add steering wheel at the end of the corner. We'll fix that for this lap. So, gonna be a little bit safer back onto the throttle. Yeah. You don't want the car to feel like it's sliding up and you're not in control of it. No matter how much wheel you have into it, that can be pretty bad on the tires. And that's usually caused by just getting back to 100% throttle too early. We'll do one more good lap here to show you. And then final turn. This one I'm sliding up too early. That one I needed to late apex. I knew that. So as we get later in the run, that's when you would start wanting to late apexing more. So early run, maybe slightly early apex. Try to cut off some people. But then as you get into the late run, it's going to be a lot easier on your car if you are bringing the car down to the bottom a little bit later, still making sure you get to the bottom because that's the most important part. But you see that this is a little bit more right front wearing than right rear wearing. So you got to do what you got to do to get the car off the right front, but not too much on the right rear because that's when it snaps, but it's not quite as bad. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.